Good morning, guys. I've had a lot of comments about the stabilization workouts not being hard enough, and I considered writing a third level, right? Because we've got novice, we've got intermediate. I considered writing an expert level workout to go along with them, but I've decided not to because I want to make sure we all understand how to properly progress and regress our exercises first. If you see in your workout the exercise Goblet Squat, and you're doing all your goblet squats, and the number of reps isn't difficult, and the heaviest weight you can find isn't difficult, your first thought might be, I need a harder workout. But I want to tell you some ways to make that exercise harder. And in addition, if you're not in that boat, if you're doing the novice exercises, and even some of those are killing you, I'm going to show you some ways to make it easier. All right? So let's go over them. First off, I've got these in a certain order in my brain. These are not necessarily in order of importance. The first one is rest. Are you taking the appropriate amount of rest between exercises to make them hard enough for you? So we are doing stabilization circuit training right now. So we do a little bit of cardio, and then we do 5 exercises in a circuit, and then back to the cardio. If your workout is not hard enough, then do it faster, right? Instead of taking a few breaths between exercises, as soon as you finish your squats, put down your weight and drop down to your push-ups, all right? If your workout is too hard, take a little bit more rest. Just because it doesn't have rest built into the workout, you're in charge. Add some rest in there, all right? Next up, we got range of motion. So let's talk about the goblet squat. So if you are doing your goblet squat and it's too easy, make sure you're going to full depth, all right? Because if you're just doing your squats to here, that's not a full depth goblet squat. Then yeah, of course it's going to be too easy. If you're dropping down to here where your elbows can tap your knees, that's a full range squat. So if you're not doing a full range squat and the workout is too easy, then improve your range of motion. If your workout is too hard, then decrease your range of motion. You can even sit down on a box, for example, to make sure your range of motion is appropriate for you. All right, so we've got rest, we've got range of motion. Next up is exercise. So if the goblet squat is too hard, then put down the weight and do a body weight squat. Or like I said earlier, sit down on a box. That's a different exercise. It still works the same muscles, but it's going to make the workout more approachable for you. And if the goblet squat is too easy, and you need to make it a little bit harder, find a different way to hold that weight. All right, because a goblet squat might be easy for you until you go into a one-arm goblet squat, right? So now the weight is on one side of your body, which is a little bit harder. If that's still too easy, boom, knock out some overhead squats. Lock it out overhead and still get the full range of motion, keeping those feet flat. I'll back up so you can make sure my feet are flat. Right here, skadoosh. That is going to be quite a bit harder than your goblet squat, all right? Find a way to make it work for you. We've got rest, we've got range of motion, we've got the exercise. Next up, we've got sets and reps. So the exercise, the workout is written to be 5 rounds of around 15 reps of everything. If that's too easy for you, do sets of 20. If it's too hard for you, do sets of 10. And if it's still too easy for you, then do more than 5 rounds, right? There's no reason that you have to stop after 5 rounds. Do 7 rounds, do 9 rounds, do 10 rounds. And if 5 rounds is too hard for you, do 3. Cool? So change up the sets and the reps. Next up is tempo. This is a huge one for something like goblet squats. Your goblet squats are too easy. You've got the heaviest weight you can find, and it's just not a challenge. So you're just out there, and you're like, fine, I'll do some more goblet squats. And like the hardest part of your goblet squats is just keeping count. Because your mind is wandering and the exercise is too easy. Okay, cool. Slow it down a little bit, all right? So change your tempo. So now we're going to do a 3x, 1x. So the 3 is the eccentric. 3, 2, 1. X means 0. 1 second stand up and no rest at the top. 3, 2, 1, no rest, up and 1, no rest. 3, 2, 1, up. 3, 2, 1, up. All right, by changing that tempo, you're already making the exercise harder by slowing it down. All right, so that was 3. When we write tempo, we do 4 numbers, okay? The first number is the eccentric, the lowering portion of the exercise. The second number is how long you rest at the bottom position. The third number is how long you take to stand up out of it. And the fourth number is how long you rest at the top. So 3x, which means 0. 1x is a very common tempo when we're trying to make things harder. Just slow down the eccentric. And then L. Our last one starts with an L, and it is load. This is kind of the most obvious one. If the weight isn't heavy enough, get a heavier weight. If the weight's too heavy, get a lighter weight. But this also can translate over to other exercises, right? If your push-ups are too easy, first of all, just do more push-ups. Secondly, make sure you're doing them right. Thirdly, grab a light weight and put it on your back. Make it harder for you, okay? So, in conclusion, I'm not going to write another level of workout for this phase of training. Instead, think of all those ways that you can modify things to make them of an appropriate level of difficulty. Again, the acronym is REST, right? That's your first one, is to rest. Then we spell out the word rest, range of motion, exercise, sets and reps, tempo, and then it ends with an L, which is load. All right? Hope that makes sense. Feel free to put some comments in our chat and we'll talk more about it. Thanks, guys. Let's get after it.